How are your last reps?
So we're back in here today. It's your boy Daquan, and we have the stealth bomber setup, the infinite launcher Flak setup. It has a whole bunch of different names to it. I ended up doing like I did like quite a few variations of this build setup, and it is back. It is doing super duper well. And since this is version 2 of the setup, we have a few things ramped up. We have a few really good items because, you know, your boy was prepping for this moment. So we have our shredded lump right here in corrosive with the 125% splash damage. Now the beams do not get affected by the splash damage of the anoint, but the final blast ends up getting that. And then by final blast, I mean that little explosion that you see right there that trickles down and hits enemies. That is what I'm referring to by final blast. And then the direct shot also gets affected by that. And we're rocking this because it was one of the best mobbing launchers for M3 100% of the time, and it's still super duper good for Mayhem 4. Probably the best mob launcher for Mayhem 4. I know the recursion as a gun in general kind of popped up out of nowhere and did a whole lot of work. If they end up like switching out the way the projectiles work, I think the Lump and Brainstormer are going to be our best mobbing guns for Flak in general. So rocking the Lump. Second slot, we have a Maggie. You do not need to run a Maggie. I didn't switch up the name this time because I'm focused on something else. So since we're rocking the McCree, since we're rocking the Maggie right here, you can run this as a gun when you end up like falling down. I didn't really end up using this gun too much. It doesn't really get the most benefit out of this build, but the Maggie is just a really good gun in general for anybody really. So you can rock this in the slot if you want to. You have a couple of options. You can run a Brainstormer if you would like. Of course, you can rock a Recursion if you really do want as well. We do not have a Scourge in the 2.0 version in this. You can still rock it inside the setup. Just for the Woden fight, it didn't really feel that great. It didn't feel that great at all for the Woden fight. There were like pockets of time where you'd end up shooting off the Scourge and then you want to go ahead and crit swap so that way you can eat those bars up very fast. And it didn't really seem to work out super duper well. One issue was the ammo was starting to get a little rough in certain spots, so we opted out of the Scourge for this. You can still use the Scourge for one shot in certain bosses. So the reason why I have this Unforgiven right here is because it actually has the extra charge of rack attack. So the extra charge of rack attack on top of the Unforgiven gives us like a 2-in-1 combo. Not only are we getting the crit swap, but we're also getting the extra charge of rack attack anoint trick, which means that you, for my boys that are unfamiliar with it, you go ahead and put on the rack attack extra charge gear, put that on, well, weapon in particular, put that on, and you swap back to whatever gun that you want to go ahead and use. And after you do the swap back from the extra charge gun to the normal gun, you'll get your annoyance from your shield, from your grenade, as well as the gun that you actually swap to. But this is going to work out a whole lot better inside of a Unforgiven than most other guns, because you also get that extra benefit of that critical hit damage. And this is a relatively trash roll for the critical hit damage, so if you do find one that is better, or if you don't want to use the extra little rack attack charge thing and you just want to use the crit swap in general, you have better options. But I'll have this inside the save file as well for my PC boys. So continue on with it. I already mentioned, okay, let's all right, there we go. So I already mentioned why we're not using the Scourge, but we're using the double customer setup. Always one of the best things to actually use against Woden. Recursion, of course, is still working out very, very well against Woden inside the fight. So the Cutsman gets the benefit of not only having one projectile, which means that our class mod right here is going to get a whole lot of benefit, but also it has the charge speed that it needs to ramp up a little bit, and we have this inside of our class mod as well. So important things for the class mod are going to be weapon charge speed. Now, you can run a Deadeye if you want to. You can run a Cosmic Stalker if you want to. You can run a Frambile if you want to. These are all going to be pretty good options. So this one's going to be able to bump up our 2 Fang to 50% chance of getting an extra projectile. And so that's going to be immense for our lump, as well as super duper good for our Cutsman and allowing us to do a whole lot of extra damage, as well as the weapon charge speed, which I just mentioned a little bit earlier, is going to reduce the time for the Cutsman and really for the lump as well. That's going to be a big factor. So one extra thing that we do have on this is the torque weapon projectile speed. Now the projectile speed is a cool thing to add in if you are able to get it on a roll. So you end up, and hopefully I have enough ammo to show you the difference. So you shoot off the gun, and you can see how far the lumps bullets end up going, and the beams come down, and then it attaches to a whole lot of enemies, and then just blows up and does a whole lot of work. So you can use it like that. And if you do not have it on, so this is something that I played around with a little bit ago, and then also a individual by the name of Dr. Yes, or Matt, if you want to call it Matt, brought it back up to me, and he was crunching some numbers. My man has a whole little Discord of people working on some stuff as well, and we were playing around with the concept of projectile speed for the lump, and it works out relatively well. So yeah, projectile speed works out pretty decently. The thing that I would 100% recommend is having the weapon charge speed, because we are utilizing fadeaway in this setup, and you want to be able to chain off those shots pretty consistently and have a lot of damage coming through, especially with Leave No Trace and the ammo fluidity just flowing in. We want to be able to just have gameplay be fluid, really, is what it comes down to. Damage is also good for heavy splash. Cooldown rate is cool as well. And then shield recharge rate. So we're rocking this right here. It's basically an upgrade to a rerouter. Has basically the same effect where you end up shooting off the amped up shot, and then it has the added effect of having a little circle when your shield does end up breaking, and that's going to allow you to get that extra damage coming through when you are inside of that circle when your shield ends up breaking. So yeah, that is a nice little damage boost. You are able to stay invisible and be able to stay in the same spot inside of certain pockets with this build setup. So you're able to get a whole lot of value out of this good old shield right now. If you do not have one that has this anoint on it, or have an elemental anoint on it, if you have a rerouter with something similar, you can work out with that, and it should work out very well. So right here we have the reoccurring hex. So the reoccurring hex is here so that way when we run out of ammo for our lump naturally inside the different shots, we're able to get our ammo right back with Leave No Trace in combination with Megavore. And you can run the reoccurring hex, or you can run the mitosis or reoccurring Hunter Seeker. They both are very good at giving you that ammo back, and the Hunter Seeker actually works out better than the reoccurring hex in most situations, due to the duration of the reoccurring hex getting nerfed quite a bit earlier, and then also just the sheer amount of bullets that are coming out of the Hunter Seeker at longer ranges. So you can find one with the action skill in, works out very well. We're rocking radiation, so that way we're able to get very nice AoE damage when the enemies do end up dying. Then we have the Flesh Melter Auto Idol. Run a Auto Idol If you can get one with flesh melters, even better. If you can find one with last stand, it'll work out very well also. That'll make you a little bit less squishy, but you'll be able to do a little bit less damage. This one doesn't have the greatest rolls on it. The cooldown rate is cool. Magazine size is pretty pointless, to be honest. And then the shotgun damage is, you guys probably know, it's not really super duper relevant. So finding one with something similar to what the mod has on it, or finding one with like the shield delay or area effect damage or splash damage or heavy damage or corrosive damage or something along those lines is going to give you much more value on the rolls for this auto idol. But this is still a pretty good one. Still pretty good. Auto idol is going to be the thing that you're looking out for 100% to get this build to flow pretty smoothly. So save file for this is inside the description for my PC boys. And then Gypsy King is doing a really good job with some of his quality builds, and he actually has a lump inside of one of his setups recently, so you guys can check out that. And I believe that he's helping out some people with some gear every so often as well. So, you know, you want to stop by that quality gentleman, you can see some of the stuff and potentially pick up some gear. We hop into the red tree, and so this is pretty basic. Not gonna make this thing super duper long. We just ramped up on damage, and the key aspect, and one of the reasons why we actually have leave no trace at 3 and head count at 3, because we want to be invisible most of the time. We're not running a transformer, and we were still able to clear the Maliwan Takedown pretty smoothly for the most part. But the thing with the Maliwan Takedown, the enemies are going to do a whole lot of shock damage. I've gotten hit for 17k before with one hit from the Valkyrie. So you're going to get hit hard. And 9 times out of 10, you want to run a transformer. And to opt out of using the transformer, we are rocking the invisibility, and we want to get back inside of that as fast as possible, really. We want to get back inside of that so that way we're able to shoot off those large shots with our version OM, and we're able to just, you know, fly through. So make sure that your leave no trace is maxed out at 3. That in combination with Megavore is going to give us nice infinite ammo, and then Megavore in conjunction with head count is going to allow us to have not infinite, well, not like super duper instant for the fadeaway, but it's going to come in very fast. And then 2 Fang helps out that whole process. Having more projectiles coming through means we're going to get more procs at Megavore, which just means we're going to get more procs at leave no count, leave no trace. we're going to get more procs at leave no trace, and we will get more procs of head count. I thought about the 2 at the same time, so you know, we're gonna leave that in. So have that, and then we just stacked up on damage. Very simple. We're rocking the Scorcher right here, one of the better pets, of course. Give us a little bit of HP regeneration, a little bit of damage. And then we'll hop over to this tree right here. Maxed out on HP. HP is super duper important for the Maliwan Takedown, or just for builds in general inside the harder difficulties. If you are comfortable with having just 2 points to do the self-repairing system and then putting your points to do Fierce Attack, you can rock that if you want to. I don't do that whenever I go into green. Having 3 points to do all my BFFs was able to keep my pet alive 95% of the time. I tried it out with lower points into all my BFFs, and they were actually getting clapped up. So RP, little ant boy with less than 3 points. And then I have 1 point to Eager to Impress. So the 1 point to Eager to Impress unlocks the opportunity to get your cooldown back when you end up killing the enemy. And so we take that 1 point out of Furious Attack and put it into Eager to Impress, so that way when we end up blowing up a whole pack of enemies, we'll be able to get that cooldown back even faster. So it's just an added little layer so that we're able to spam our fadeaway shots even faster and stay inside of invisibility a majority of the game. Lick the wounds, that's going to be able to bring us back up, which is very good. Turn, tail, and run. You guys are very familiar with that. If you do end up standing still inside the lump setup, you're able to get that bonus damage to come through. You are able to do it inside of the fadeaway. Inside of a lot of variations, you're not really able to do that, but that's one of the benefits of rocking fadeaway inside the launcher setup. You're able to just chill out, shoot off the shot, and do a whole lot of work utilizing turn, tail, and run if you're standing still. And one keynote to pay attention to, if you're using the lump and you want to take advantage of that 25% extra damage, you have to stay still the whole charge of the shot until the thing actually releases. If you end up moving anytime in between the shot getting charged up, it won't get the bonus damage. So that's something to pay attention to if you do want to go ahead and capitalize on that. 3 points to the Fast and Furious, so that we're able to move around a bit faster and do extra damage. So putting the points into this is going to give us more value. Since we're invisible 90% of the time, we're able to get very big hits on our lump. That's just ramped up a little bit more. So we have a couple of choices that you can actually make with this. Unblinking Eye, of course, is pretty good, but a majority of our damage from the lump is actually coming from the final shot. And we're not able to really dictate what that shot is super duper well, unless there's like no enemies close to the main target that you hit and you just hit it with a direct shot. Then you'll be able to manage that a little bit better. But Unblinking Eye, of course, adds damage. It's not really super duper vital. If you do want to play around with it, you can play around with Until You're Dead in combination with Not My Circus. And that will help out. They'll help out. It'll be able to work out relatively well. You'll still be able to do a whole lot of damage because the lump does a whole lot of damage by itself. And you'll be able to keep your pet alive a little bit better. And then the taunt will be able to keep you alive at a decent low amount. And you'll be able to chain the Not My Circus interaction, which works out pretty decently. And Until You're Dead, mentioned a little bit earlier, but that movement speed is super duper good for the Woden fight. It feels really, really bad not being able to, move around and get smacked upside the head with missiles. But some of these things be curving. I can't lie to you. I saw somebody miss me completely, and then the thing like ricocheted off the ground and did a nice little curve like it was the Wanted movie, but it was missiles, and that was not fun. So having the extra movement speed is always, a good thing to have in. And then we just finish off with 2 points into Persistence Hunter. So that way we're able to get off our 3 shots relatively smoothly with the lump. And that completes the build, really. That really completes the build. You guys will be able to see some gameplay for the thing. This run was an okay run. Inside this setup, you're able to get... The lump shots are 9 times out of 10 going to be good anyway. It's not really bad lump shots nowadays, but there's going to be some lump shots that are just fantastic. Sometimes you can just blow up a crack him with just one shot. Sometimes you're able to eat through the enemy's HP on the bosses immediately. But 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to get a whole lot of value out of the lump. One of my favorite guns inside this game. And yeah, that's it from your boy. If you guys have any questions about anything, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments that you guys want to make, anything at all, I'll be in there as always. And yeah, that's it for your boy. Adios, amigos.
Intel says there's an elevator down to the lower levels. Make your way there and be ready for some heavy resistance. I'm counting on you, Vault Hunter.
This place is supposed to be secure! Let's clear out these rats! What the hell? Vault Hunters? How'd they find us?
Boy! Ready to pounce. Ready to pounce. The chaos! What the hell happened? Valkyries fall, and death smiles.
Those were advanced mechs, but we're after something bigger. Keep going.
vast threats. Distract them.
Now that is definitely your target! Light that giant bastard up!